Welcome to I Have Some Questions. The show is all about asking questions our guests have never asked themselves before, never thought about, or been too afraid to explore. It's designed to uncover the human story at the root of successes and failures and help us as an audience learn and grow from that story. My hope is that you'll hear brilliant guests exploring new ideas and challenging themselves in new ways of thinking. I think this makes for great conversations. I'm going to bring on entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, scientists, and frankly, any vein of super interesting, successful, and passionate human I can find. I am fascinated by passionate people, and I have some questions for them. I'm Erik Berglund, and I hope you'll join me every week for new episodes. Welcome back to I Have Some Questions. I'm your host, Erik Berglund, and I wanted to take a few minutes in this episode just to recap the great interview I just finished with Rose. Wow, the way I said that sounded super self-serving. I don't know that I did a great job of interviewing Rose. She was great. That was my point. She rocks. And she has such an incredible tale to tell. I cannot wait to have her back because I want to know more of the backstory that led to the creation of just this human being. She was remarkable in so many ways. And I hope you take the time to go give it a listen. It came out a couple days ago. There were three specific things I wanted to call out from this episode because I just thought they were incredible, and I want to share with you in short form here. Rose talked a lot about authenticity as the primary thread that really connects everything she's doing. I mean, she's built this incredible Luscious Supper Club event, which is, she only opens 3 nights per month. She builds a restaurant in her home 3 nights a month and serves a 7-course fine dining experience with 60 other people. And so she built that out of an authentic drive to create these connections and to use some of the skills and give back in the way she knows how based on her skill set. And that's launched this Luscious Bend opportunity she's creating, this event space with this incredible business opportunity for local investors. And invest in an event space might not seem, if you didn't hear the episode, to be that big of a deal, but you really have to understand the market research she's done and the position she's taking and how big of a need there is for what she's asking for. And if you're not from Central Oregon, you may not get that authentically or, naturally, but if you're from here, you know what she's talking about. And that place is going to crush it, especially geographically where it is. It's going in next to a brand new, beautiful place called Cascada, this health and wellness hotel and spa. It's going in next to an awesome new addition to the old mill area, the new multi-purpose building they've put there, which is just massive. Like, it's going to crush it. And the thing that led her to that is genuine, authentic connection with herself and really understanding what she wanted and why and how this fit, and being willing to be courageous instead of afraid. Her authentic willingness to hear people saying they want to work with her, they want to invest in her, they want to see her do more things, and her willingness to acknowledge her role in that. That's the number one word I would use to describe that. And I got to be honest, I kind of say that jealously. Like I think everybody says I try to be authentic, and I suspect most people do, but like, that's a word I've used a lot in my life. And I authentically try to be authentic, and damn, I am impressed by the level of authenticity of this human being. And as much as the information somebody shares is sometimes what's interesting in this podcast, it's more often the way in which they do it. And I haven't had, no disrespect to anybody else who's been on the show, but I haven't had anybody else who is that deeply connected authentically to what they're doing in their life. And it's inspiring. And so that's the number one thing I wanted to talk about. I also thought it was really fascinating in Rose's journey how much she has had to say yes to the universe and to really almost take a responsibility of what the universe is offering and say that if I'm not stewarding the opportunity the universe is creating for me, what am I doing? She went out and built this Luscious Supper Club thing. And then through a series of different steps, people offering her investments, developers of a building coming to her and saying, I see what you're building and I want to partner with you. Mount Bachelor coming to her and saying, we want you to host an event here. A professional world-class event coordinator coming and saying, I want to host an event with you. Like, these are people who consistently put themselves in her life, the universe continually offering it to her very visibly. And her responsible stewardship of that is incredible. And look, if you're anything like me, the world doesn't throw you those opportunities that often. But it would also, if you listen to her story, be wildly incorrect to call her lucky or fortunate. Like she alluded to a very rough upbringing and a background that's very difficult. And you can tell just based on the way she values what the universe is offering her that she does not do so lightly or from a position of, I earned this. I don't think that word probably is in her vocabulary. And so as much as these people have offered this, it's only because she earned it. It's only because they saw merit in what she's doing and want to be a part of it, want to be connected to it. And that was the third thing that I really took away from this is how much what she is building, the Luscious Supper Club, Luscious Bend, the event, the building she's built, like constructing the business model, the investors, and the docuseries that she's having shot about her, how much each one of those fulfills this deep need we have for actual, genuine human connection. And it's easy to say that that's what coffee shops do, or heck, that's what a restaurant does, but they don't, right? Like to some degree, there are a couple places you've been, a couple restaurants or coffee shops you've gone through where the experience is the primary thing that brings you, not necessarily the food or the drink. Rose and I talked about how, sure, to facilitate that experience, the food and the drink and the setting and the music or whatever needs to be above a certain threshold, right? It can't be utterly terrible. But if it's good enough, the connection is what you want. And it sure seems like what she has built fills this need, this void, this desire that we have for a deeper connection. And I'm really excited to see what else she builds, right? The way she's building everything right now is fine dining, luxury, right? It's got an expensive price point to it. You have to be in a certain position in your life to be capable of indulging in this type of experience. But that alone is a pretty fascinating observation, in that the people who are in that category in life, in that place in life, who have that degree of wealth or income that can go and explore or do this with Rose, still need the connection. There's something deeply powerful about that. I can't wait to pick up the thread and chat with her more about it. But that need for an experience that connects us that deeply, and her tapping into it because the universe keeps making it available to her, and her authentic expression of herself throughout it, an unwillingness to compromise her authentic nature as she does it. It was an inspiring conversation. I loved it. I'm very fired up coming out of it. Like most of my interviews I enjoy, but I am pretty fired up coming out of this interview. I'm excited to go spend the rest of the afternoon with my daughters here. I hope you give that episode a listen. It'll be well worth your time to pick up on those 3 threads and plenty more. We'll certainly have Rose back on again another time, but hope to see you next week. Thanks. Thanks for joining us this week. Don't forget to take a second and subscribe. Maybe even share this episode with somebody it made you think of, or someone you think would take some value from it. This show is all about uncovering the brilliance and humanity of high performers. And whether those performers have a massive following or a podcast or a book, or they're a business owner, or they're buried somewhere in a corporation, or maybe they're a nonprofit leader, or they don't necessarily have to have a title. I'm really fascinated by people who are passionate and who are doing interesting things. So if you or somebody you know would be a good guest, don't hesitate to reach out to me on LinkedIn or send me an email at hello@languageofleadership.io to make that connection. I'll see you next week.